This video is going to be brought to you by G Fuel. As Boruto fans, I think we all pretty much were disappointed that Code has looked very disappointed during Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. The guy gets beat down fast and gets gassed pretty quickly, which wouldn't be a problem if he was using G Fuel's brand new watermelon mint energy formula, which is back with a brand new look but has the same amazing taste as before. The amazing combination of sweet watermelon and soothing mint is something that will help you find your energy to reach your next personal goals, from academically to athletic, or even if you need to recharge as a gamer because you're trying to finish off that final boss, and if you're like me, it's gonna take a few times in order to get it done. You guys have heard me say before, between running 3 monetized YouTube channels, dealing with trolls, building up a 4th YouTube channel from scratch, and still finding time to hit the gym, I need all the energy I can get, and best of all, there's 0 sugar, and you get a healthy dose of several important vitamins and those also important antioxidants. The only thing better than this new G Fuel watermelon mint energy formula is that beatdown that Boruto is going to give to Mitsuki in the next Boruto manga chapter. Use my link down in the description box to get yours today, and use my promo code KAGE to save on your next G Fuel order. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. And today I want to talk to you guys about the Matsuri versus Konohamaru battle that the story appears to be setting up, and why this battle is going to be extremely important for the future of Konohamaru's character moving forward. While we can't call Konohamaru weak despite all the memes that people make, and I'm guilty of making the memes myself, and all the bad luck that he's gotten consistently going up against stronger opponents like Jigen, he isn't weak by any measure of the word. However, this battle with Matsuri, it is important for his character. It is extremely important for his character, especially since she has singled him out as specifically being her target. The beauty of time skips is that characters tend to get insane power buffs off screen depending on how high the levels have risen in the series, and while there's enough there to objectively say that Konohamaru was stronger than his uncle Asuma based on the stuff we saw in part 1 of Boruto's story, in particular the anime continuity, he's clearly not anywhere near the level of those of all shinjuu that we've seen in the series. And yet I think this is where the beauty of Naruto being sealed away and Kawaki telling everyone via that lie that Boruto killed Naruto comes into play here for the potential power creep that Konohamaru might have gotten, or rather the argument that you can make for why, if he does have a power creep, this is what led to it. It all goes back to the relationship that Konohamaru and Naruto had in Naruto Part 1. In Naruto Chapter 2, when Naruto takes Konohamaru under his wing, the thing that we learn is that Konohamaru and Naruto, they each made each other a promise that when the time came in the future, both of them would battle one another for the title Hokage. However, whereas Naruto kept making enormous jumps in power, Konohamaru, while he did have impressive jumps in power, high enough you can make the argument that 12-year-old Konohamaru in Naruto Part 2, despite his gaining ranking, was already at that Jonin barrier level of power in terms of entry. Whatever you think the floor is for Jonin level, that 12-year-old Konohamaru was there. The problem is that Konohamaru, in the 16 years between the end of Naruto's manga and the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, where you've seen all these other characters make these massive jumps in power, some of them so absurdly high that it hurts your feelings just to think about it. While he has grown stronger and he's added a 3rd chakra nature to his overall arsenal, and he's added a chakra nature to the Rasengan, something that even Minato couldn't do, which we learn in Naruto Databook 4, the official 4th Naruto databook for Naruto's manga, that by the end of Naruto's manga, Konohamaru had 2 chakra natures, and in Boruto's anime, we see that he has a lightning release chakra nature. The problem is that that growth, it hasn't been on the same level that we saw with, say, the Boruto Kage, who they got those monster jumps in power where they each went from being in that Kage tier power to being strong enough that when they ganged up on Momoshiki and Kinshiki, 2 guys who are not weak, with the help of Sasuke, mind you, they managed to seriously damage both of them. In particular, in the novel continuity of Boruto the movie, written by the former writer of Boruto's manga Ukyo Kodachi, Konohamaru showed that he could keep up with a transformed Jugo and even blow him across the forest with the Rasengan despite his chakra being drained away. That same Konohamaru was also on a bit of a defensive in the fight, so to be fair, you have to point that out because he was picking and choosing his moments when he would attack. He was really on the defensive in that. I don't think anyone here would say, even based on anime Konohamaru, he will be able to beat War, Dari, or even Kakuzu He clearly has not reached that tier of power that Kakashi was in Naruto's manga, which by Kakashi, I mean Kakashi from part 1 all the way up into the pain arc. Because War Arc Kakashi, that's just a whole nother monster. Even when Boruto and Kawaki were going at it in their training match and Konohamaru was ready to step up into the fight and break things up, Naruto basically said, hey fam, sit your ass down somewhere before you get hurt. Granted, that was more so because Naruto knew that it was best to allow Boruto and Kawaki to settle their dispute instead of actually have someone get involved. But Konohamaru, nobody here actually thinks that Konohamaru was stronger than base Boruto and Kawaki at that point in time, let alone Boruto using the Coma Seal like he was at that point in the fight itself. Konohamaru shows up in that fight trying to break it up, and the two of them just yeet Konohamaru out of existence. For Konohamaru, knowing that the guy that he was chasing after was killed by Boruto, again, in his mind because his memories are altered, and that he was too weak to do anything about it, that would be some strong motivation as any to get stronger. The same with Sasuke, someone that we know based on the Sasuke Shinin Teacher Star Pupil novel is somebody that Konohamaru looks up to for his power. The person that has historically been Naruto's rival in power being Sasuke. Sasuke's now branded a rogue ninja again. And that's more incentive on top of that due to his memory being altered. He thinks that Boruto was the boy that was forced onto Team Konohamaru, that he was prevented from stopping that sparring match. So there's probably some guilt associated with that as well. There's something there in terms of motivation, and should that happen, great. I think it'd be really dope if he does get to that point where he's relative to the Boruto Kage from part 1. But I don't think that happens in my opinion. You guys heard me say numerous times that I go, yeah, I think Sarada and Mitsuki have a higher floor than the ceiling of the Boruto Kage. I don't feel that way with Konohamaru. I know the supplemental information that Kodachi wrote in the physical volumes of Boruto's manga. Again, Kodachi, the former writer of the Boruto manga, it states that Naruto and Shikamaru consider him to be a genius and that he's one of the few shinobi that Naruto allows to go on S-rank missions with only a two-man team, and that they believe that he has the highest potential out of all the other Jonin from their generation, which, as a reminder, Konohamaru is from the same generation as Naruto. He's only 5 years younger. So that's very high praise. However, up until now, we haven't seen any real desire for him to reach that potential that Naruto sees in him and that Shikamaru sees in him. Every now and then, we saw him put his nose to the grindstone, like he did in the anime where he's shown studying Hiruzen's very complicated sealing jutsu scrolls. But those moments, they are few and far between. Potential and talent, it means nothing if you're not willing to put in the work to hone those skills. Not just for shinobi. That applies to us in the real world as well. So to use myself as an example, I had a meeting with my YouTube partner manager and he challenged me to make thumbnails more clear for viewers, try some new stuff like doing streaming and to do premieres or videos to make the thumbnail topic more clear, but also tell a story without telling the full story of the video, because he believed that there was more I could do with the channel based on the analytical data of the channel. So as you guys have seen, we've begun playing with thumbnails. You listening to this video, you probably have something that you are working on right now. Or if you're not working on it right now, you know, if you do some self-reflection, you go, it's probably something I could probably be working on right now. Maybe it's going to the gym trying to get them gains because you've been putting it off for a year or so. Or maybe you got to make progress talking to that girl that you got a crush on in school or something. There's something that you could do. It just comes down to taking action. However, with Konohamaru, he ain't take no action. I think the story is setting the stage for Konohamaru to be forced to take action if he hasn't already. Because Matsuri is an evolved shinjuu made from the chakra of Moegi. She specifically is targeting him. She didn't say like, yeah, I'm gonna go after Team 10 and I'm gonna beat the brakes off of Moegi's students. I'm gonna show them they ain't about that ninja life. That ain't it. She's targeting Konohamaru. He was one of the ones who made that vow to bring whoever did this to Moegi, trapping her in the tree, to justice. He's an experienced Jonin. If Team 10 fights alongside him, which they very likely are, he's going to be in the position that Kakashi was in back in the Akatsuki suppression arc, where Kakashi had to hard carry the older generation Team 10s during that Hidan and Kakuzu fight, all while looking out for their safety because they bit off more than they could chew by going against two Kage level shinobi. While I personally think that Matsuri versus Konohamaru is going to be used to force Team 10 to step up to the plate to showcase their growth, giving them their own arc. I do worry that this moment has the potential to bury Konohamaru, which would be an absolute shame right here. While I didn't come to Boruto, Naruto Next Generations expecting Konohamaru to be this badass like Kakashi was, since in the manga, not the anime, Naruto's manga, outside of Konohamaru stunning a pain with the rinnegan, not even destroying it, just stunning it, Konohamaru was only used for comedic reasons, and he hasn't really shown in Naruto's manga that he was a major player or even a major brawler. I think we all expected him to be stronger than he is now because, again, time skips. He had a whole 16 years to get stronger, which again, he's not weak. But I can think of 15 characters from Naruto's manga, including Zabuza and Haku, who I would take over Konohamaru right now in a fight. If you told me they fight 10 times out of 10, I'm picking them 9 times out of 10. So I wasn't crazy high on the character coming out of this and going into Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, but I did expect more, and I think that we all expected more. If Konohamaru shows up and Matsuri hits him with a Seth Rollins stomp to the face, I am going to be disappointed. Not necessarily surprised, but disappointed, because from a narrative perspective, he needs this fight. He needs it badly. And it needs to be revealed that he has trained his butt off to get stronger after the news of Naruto's death. If this man just sat there and didn't make no progress after hearing that Naruto is dead and that Code is out there, knowing that they gotta try and defend the village and their strongest 2 assets, one is presumed to be dead and the other one is a rogue ninja again, and he ain't do nothing, I hope he dies a virgin. For someone who wants to be Hokage, he must first prove himself to be strong enough that he can save one of the people closest to him. And as Ada put it in Boruto Naruto Next Generations, that's a precious childhood friend of his. While that doesn't necessarily mean that he needs to be slapboxing back and forth with Matsuri, having this super epic showdown with all this destructive damage where there's cracks in the ground and trees are being uprooted. It could be something as simple as him playing a role in reaching her on an emotional level through Moegi's chakra that Matsuri has, since chakra contains memories. I do worry that this is going to be a moment where Konohamaru, he reaches the finish line and ends off with disappointment. He just comes up a little bit too short. Like that one guy that only lasts for 5 pumps with their girlfriend, and she's sitting there looking for an adult toy to finish the job, which if that applies to you, keep your fingers crossed, fam. You'll make it to 6 pumps next time. Progress, baby. Which, speaking of progress, we're less than 300 subs away from 100,000 on my Kryptonian Saiyan channel. So give the video you see on the screen a view. And if you like it, consider subscribing to that channel for my non-Naruto views on other anime and manga.